Hello, my name is David Rudy. I'm a graduate student here at the American College of Education, and the presentation today is called A Brief History of Learning Theories. I'm excited today to present some different information on learning theories and to sort of provide a larger umbrella on our presentation today. It's important for me to let you know that with my teaching and in my educational practice, I often feel that it comes down to one simple question, which is what is it that I want my students to be able to know, right? What is it that I want my students to be able to do? So, our agenda for today, I do believe it's important to think about knowledge, how we get knowledge, where it comes from, how the learning process and the way the methodologies that encompass learning have changed over time. And in taking time to research some of the historical and theoretical approaches to learning and different learning environments. I've really come across four interesting buckets that I'm excited to talk about today. The first bucket I'm going to call early learning, and have a slide today that I'm excited to present about Socrates. Following that, skip way ahead into the future and talk a little bit about behaviorism and B.F. Skinner and early 20th century learning theories and practices. We'll then jump incrementally a little bit ahead to late 20th century constructivism and sort of what that means and how we construct and think about knowledge. And then finally, sort of situated learning, where I feel like I am now in my current teaching practice here in Wisconsin. So Socrates, right? For me, it always comes down to that one question: what is it that I want my students to be able to know and do? For Socrates, it was just the simple maxim, know thyself. That's it, right? That's all that we ever need to know, all we ever need to be able to do. And of course, that's such an oversimplification. It takes so much more than that just to be able to know and understand what it is that we want to be able to do. Early thinkers like Socrates, Plato, Aristotle explored whether or not knowledge is innate, so it's inside us, or is it something that is gained through learning, through reading a book, through having an experience? And that's really important because if learning is just something that's within us and just has to be pulled out, that's a very different thing than actually being able to go out and acquire learning. I think a lot about Carol Dweck here and the growth mindset and how important that is, that we remind our students that they can learn anything. Now, behaviorism, for me, I like to really try to think about stickers with this. It emphasizes the role of reinforcement, punishment, grades, right? As a current example of behavioral reinforcement that we use in school. And behaviorism suggests that behaviors are learned through association, and they, of course, have positive and negative outcomes. When we think about active knowledge construction, right, learners build new understanding based on prior knowledge and experiences. So instead of learners sort of passively receiving knowledge and sort of them just kind of through osmosis coming across things that they need to know, right, constructivism posits that individual learners construct and make their own knowledge and create their own um, epistemology. So where are we at today? So when I think a lot about my teaching today in 2025, what's happening, it really does come down to situated learning. And I think a lot about online learning, how the process I'm going through here at ACE, and how much it's grown over the past 10 years. It really has allowed a diverse learning population to be able to learn new things from the comfort of their domicile, right? Researchers were surveyed in 2 cyber schools, and according to Beasley and Beck, online teachers need to adjust the process and content to differentiate in order to help diverse learners. What that means is that it isn't so much just about the way we take in things. Sometimes it could be the actual things that are being taught. And there's a picture of my new boss. I do teach in Racine, Wisconsin, at a school called the Academies of Horlick High School. So we have different learning academies, Ed and Tech, right? So it's an educational engineering program. health services and aviation, which is an interesting pairing, right? Health careers, then students interested in aviation careers, and then business and culinary. So we have a pathway where students can learn about business practices, accounting, finance, things like that, along with careers in the culinary field. So students take a pathway class and they learn more about that pathway. Now, when you're 17, 18 years old, you might still not know what it is you totally want to do with your life. But it is great to be able to have our students in our scene get different exposure to those things. So situated learning basically is doing things in the classroom that further a student's vocational ability. And so unlike a liberal arts education, where there's that emphasis on philosophy, on helping students and people be able to think, right? Situation learning really puts the learner in a future job and vocational training. So kind of have a little slide there at the top. This is my new boss. I actually haven't met my new boss yet, but I'm sure it will be great. Here are some different references that I looked at for our presentation today. And in conclusion, right, today how we learn is as important as it's ever been, with new teaching methods along with new designations of learning environments, right, such as online or blended learning, face-to-face, brick and mortar. It's good to remind ourselves of that important teacher-student dynamic, right? Oftentimes, again, it does come down to one simple question. What is it that I want my students to be able to know and do? And a teacher knows something, and the student then needs and is granted that opportunity to learn it. So whether or not that takes cues from early 20th century behaviorism or more situated learning like we experience today, it again still does come down to that teacher-student dynamic. So learning is always a wonderful thing, especially for a school teacher in the summer. So thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, you can certainly reach out to me via email at rudydavid@gmail.com. Thank you so much for your time.